So let me call this meeting to order, 11:05, Monday, August 12th, 2024. We're here to continue our budget workshops on all the budgets that the commissioners have directly underneath them. And for simplicity's sake, we're going to start with weeds today, since we actually have Carol here with us to help us out with that. So, Carol, budget officer, clerk, commissioners, clerk, anybody who wants to start with this one?
Well, can I start?
Yeah, because this is the first time I've seen it, so go ahead.
Yeah,
So
that
that'd be
way
great.
she can review it. What I've kind of seen within the weed budget, so that you guys need to kind of put this in the back. Prior to when I was here, the weed budget went out to help the residents of Shoshone County. And what I kind of look back through, it looks like the weed budget is just doing county property on like the right-of-ways on the roads, and there's like solid waste and that type of stuff. That should have, I'm thinking we should create some line items within those other budgets, because the budget is so low and she's using all her spraying chemicals for the other departments, so to speak. And so that's something that I think you guys need to be aware of, because it was always just for residents and not right-of-ways, because before they had right-of-ways in the county road department that they paid out of.
Yes, we did.
That makes sense.
So it's just something that, I didn't do it because I need more direction.
Yeah.
But it's a decision to think about that, because the poor little weed budget.
And we did. We always
It's
paid
taken-
out of road the portion that was on the county easements and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes, and then
Yeah,
and
there
then
was
yes.
10,000. Is there still 10,000 in that?
I was trying. I'm
For the
looking at
house?
road.
Okay. It was for herbicides, I think, or chemicals. But yeah, what Peggy's saying is that, by state statute, the county has to take care of their properties and their right-of-ways. But we also had a very active portion that was part of education and part of keeping our things, our right-of-ways and things clean, was to help other people in the community, other residents. Sometimes they were senior citizens, sometimes they were, municipalities like the city of Osborne. We've always tried to go out and do their open spaces, because they have one man there. So we've tried to help others too. But that's, we had a pretty good program doing that too. But we don't have the funds to do it anymore. We don't have, But yeah, that's kind of a little background on it. Is what we
Can
what
we
did.
ask our
Right.
contractor to give us an idea of the mileage that was county
Yes.
and
Yes.
whatnot, so we can look at?
Yes, yeah, and he's done a lot of road miles. I've also been driving the roads and have come up with a pretty long list of things that need either addressed or touched up on. But there's quite a bit more to do. But our spray budget with him is like 16,000. This year we did 19,000. But in order to do, for 16,000, we can do like Silver Valley Road and, like a few other roads, these.
But all of that
the-
19,000 was paid out of weed, and a part of that should
Yes.
be paid out of road department
It could go to roads
for
to
our
help
mileage.
balance ours a little bit, but so we don't look like we, but yeah.
I think that's appropriate. Same way with the airport. I mean, that, we could
Yeah.
put that under the airport budget.
Yeah, you could do
And then land, we have all those parcels up there.
Yes. And we haven't done any of the county land, and we need to. There's so many parcels that are really weedy.
Now, weeds can get grants, right? We get grants or.
We used to be able to. A lot of those have, I think everything that I've seen is dried up now. And I kind of look at the other counties and what they're doing. And the ones that have weed management cooperatives, which we used to have here, but we don't anymore. There just isn't one available to us anymore because most of them, a lot of them have dried up, and there's just no funding anymore for those. So
Okay, so there's no state funding or anything.
right, right. But we used to get a little bit, a few thousand here or there,
Yeah.
but those are pretty much dried up.
Now, what about Forest Service? Don't they kind of, I wonder if they kind of give any,
They take care of some of their roads. They have they have people that do spray, but as far as like the river road, we still take care of that, and the old river road, yeah. But they take care of like Burke Road.
okay.
They do that. Yep, and I went out and looked at that, and it looks good. They're doing a good job on their land. But we have so many road miles
Yeah.
to cover. We have a big county, and for the little amount of money, I mean, there's no way. I mean, for 16,000, we're going to get a couple of long roads done. It's
So-
but we're saving a lot of money by doing it with a contractor than what.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so much better. So
Public Works does have 10,000 in public spraying chemicals.
Oh, good.
And that's what we usually,
and we usually use that too.
okay. So does that just get journaled entry to weed department each year at the end
No,
of the?
they buy chemicals and we charge that for her.
It goes
For
to
that
this
line,
line
yeah,
item and
yeah.
they pay
We
out.
code
Okay.
That's
We code it to that.
Because
Yeah.
I'm showing they haven't paid anything out this year.
No,
Right. We do that in the fall.
Okay.
There is like I kind of we've always waited till fall because then you can kind of see if there's anything new popping up that we need to address that we don't have the right chemicals for, and so we can kind of gauge what to buy, what products to buy. So.
So we haven't charged for the actual spraying of the county parts
Right.
before, just the chemicals that we paid out of there.
Exactly right.
Okay. That's,
You're
yeah.
right. So anyway, I just want to let you know that prices are going up on the chemicals. 2.5 gallons of Milestone is $1,000, $1,100 for 2.5 gallons. So I'm just saying for the chemicals, they are expensive. So there's enough money for the chemicals that will be covered for next year. But
So can we
I
do an
think
estimate of what our spraying for the county is so we can divide that into the different other
Yeah.
funds like road, solid waste, airport?
yeah, that would be good.
You think he could break
we
down
do.
some?
Yeah, we can
Mileage.
take a look at. I'll get with Micah and see.
Is
yeah,
that what you would need,
So-
Peggy, so we know
Yes.
how much to budget? in each of
exactly.
those?
Yes, exactly.
We can get together on that.
Yeah, great, yeah.
That
So
makes sense to you guys too.
yeah, but that's kind of what just I think sometimes like we were talking to some people don't that sometimes we don't realize that it's a weed department, but we're doing a lot of we spray for the county parcels when we can, but the right of ways we have to do by state law, and when we take care of the transfer station and we spray the airport's a big one, so I just like people to know that we spray for different departments too,
Yeah.
not just
And then also the spraying for that also helps with fire mitigation,
yeah, exactly.
because that's
Exactly.
usually where it starts is off.
Yep.
A lot of times
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yep, and it protects this
Any
fire, and it's
mitigation could help on that, or is that?
Well, we used to have a grant. A few years back when Bonnie England was here, we got like 3 million.
oh yeah, when we
Remember
had
that? And
Yep.
we
Mhm.
really sprayed.
yeah
there
we
was
sprayed a
lot
lot.
of- we
It was over
sprayed a lot.
it was over 4 years, and it was a stimulus grant,
Mhm.
and we got a lot of coverage out of that. But now the grant money's gone, so but anyway, I just want to point out that we're not going to get much for $16,000. So just to see, and then another one I had was let's see what I was seeing. On mapping, on the second page, first item on the second page, that 330 is for the ISRA for the mapping, and I got a notice from BJ that our portion of it now is going to be $795 because they're going from the basic to the professional one, and that's what everybody has to go on to. So as it says, we're doing it, not us. So I just
So
want
instead
to,
of the 429, we need to increase it to.
yeah, it's gonna be $795 for that now for our portion. Once we split that between,
27,527. Heather,
yep.
I'm sorry.
27,527.
Thank you.
So
Is that the one that's broke out between departments?
exactly right. Yep, you're right. Yeah. So we have one license for weeds, and another thing on that too is that I would like us to be able to get an updated one. If, since we've been paying for it all every year, but the last update that we have is 2020. So I would like to request that. I don't know who I request that from.
For the mapping?
Yeah, for the mapping. Our last one's
Probably go
2020.
to our source that does the mapping.
So who's
We'll find out who the
Who's that?
vendor is and ask them
okay?
for an update.
Okay. Yeah, because I think the other departments have updates, but just not the weed department doesn't.
Oh,
I don't know if it's because our little laptop is really old and that maybe it doesn't take it or not, but
We can start with
But I think-
BJ and then get direction of which way to go to
Yeah,
see if
that
we can't
sounds
get
good.
you updated.
that sounds good. Well, yeah, wonderful. But otherwise, it looks good.
So a question for you on, 641, public spraying.
Yes.
Is that the chemicals that the contractor uses to spray?
Yes, exactly.
So the 16 is labor and this is the chemicals.
Right. He uses his license, his labor, and his truck. And then we provide the chemicals for him. So we get 8,000 from the weed department and 10,000 from the road department.
Then I guess my next question is just a math question. When I look at the total B budget expense, the department request was 29, but the budget officer is 32. Yet all I can see is where we decreased. I don't see us increasing.
We took that retirement out of there. Out of the,
The Percy?
The retirement is done. That's what it is.
Because we
Thank
don't
you.
have benefits for the
Mhm.
salary
Thank
person
you.
anymore.
That's what I was confused by.
Yeah.
It's just doing some estimates in my head and I couldn't figure that out.
And request on the, just to be considered on the 0807 for small equipment. It's only $500. But we use that for things like buying the backpacks for the free community spray days. Because we lend those out. And so I wonder if is there any way we can keep that $500 in there.
what's in there on mine.
Mm-hmm. You see it on there?
So fiscal year 2024. Oh, 25. That's it. The public version's not.
Yeah, 25 is up here.
Okay, it's here.
Small
Never mind.
equipment,
Yep, that's good.
807.
Yep. Okay, it's there. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Wonderful. Well, I appreciate you.
And that 500's enough?
Yes. Yeah. We don't need a lot there. But those backpacks are like 100, 125 now. The prices of everything is going up so high.
It is.
It's just unbelievable what things cost now. So anyway, I appreciate you meeting with me and talking about it.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Appreciate your
Yeah.
expertise in the
Yes.
We
Help on
answer
this.
everything for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, but there's a little bit of my input on it is on the spraying and our contractor, which I'm really glad that we're doing now.
so
There's a lot less liability for the county also because we were sending kids out there to spray and it's just
Right.
a lot of things can happen. So
And it's just a FYI, wasn't this contractor, because he did us first because
yes,
we were
yeah.
so little, so
Yeah.
if we extend this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you might want to put it on his calendar.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's enough money I can get him back to do some of these other ones on my list of my hit list that I'd like to get done. So we can get him back for a day, maybe more.
So what do you need from us so that we could try to figure in the other departments'
Well, I
portions
just need
of the
some
county?
type of projection what it costs each department, because mileage-wise, I would.
Yeah. So it's not a lot, but it
Could
would.
you see if we could help get that so that we could try to get that in
Yes.
for help weed
Yeah,
out?
that would be great to help us.
Yeah.
Well,
The sooner the
nice
better
thing is
for-
you can add it in to the two departments, it's not gonna hurt them any roads.
Yeah.
Solid waste,
Yeah.
airport.
Airport.
It's not a-
So-
I mean, it's not that much money on their, because their budgets are so big, but on their
It
little
does
weed
affect this
budget.
tiny one,
But
yeah.
these little budgets, it's like, we're giving this, but
Yeah.
and we're happy to do it. More than happy to do it. But it just adds up in a little tiny budget.
Yeah.
So good.
And you don't have any more weed day calendar days like they used to?
For the free spray days,
Yeah.
we do those in June,
Okay.
and we did 2 this year, so that was good. It was really good. People really turn out for those, and yeah, they're really popular. We're and it's good to get clean areas going. So,
Yeah.
so good.
Well, that's good, great.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
I
Thank
wasn't
you all
sure if
very
you
much.
needed anything for that, so that's why I was
Yeah,
asking.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Carol.
See you later.
Do we want Randy in here for the children?
Sure. I think he may be gone right now. I can call his cell phone and see.
That makes sense. Commissioner Bills, do you think that would be, do you think it's all right, just take it forward? What do you think?
It would be useful to have you.
Yeah, I never thought of that, so.
I left off my sheet of what order we're in. Is that what we were doing next, was building?
No,
It,
I don't know.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, we could
No, it
bypass
doesn't
it till Randy gets here if you want to
Yeah.
buzz in
Yeah,
real quick
I'll
and then
give him a call.
whichever you choose next.
Yeah.
matter. It's not a.
Let's get rid of some easier ones like snowmobile.
Well, I think most of them are pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I think with the snowmobile, we're gonna have probably an issue this year because the state tax, isn't the state collecting the funds now? And so I don't know if we're gonna know what we're gonna get, but they're gonna probably give us an administrative expense.
Well, I just kind of guessed.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
guessed. It's a guess. The thing is, they've got quite a bit of cash sitting there, so I'm not really worried about
Okay,
it.
okay.
Because you can open the budget up at any time with cash count.
Okay.
Looks like you dropped their fuel on some items because of their history.
Yes. It is.
I think last year we kind of had a really short year because the snow wasn't really so.
And, well, and like I said, this is a cash account, so but I did through the history is why I shut
Okay.
some of it down. I did add administrative costs to the budget this year.
Is that the same 5%?
Yes.
He is on his way up,
Pardon?
Randy. He will join us.
Okay. So, looking at snowmobile, is there any questions, suggestions, changes you want to discuss? Anything from the clerk? Anything further?
Take a look here.
They're in a good cash position. And like I said, if the fuel happens to go up and within this next year that we underestimated, it can be opened up very easily up here and taken care of because of their cash position.
Okay.
Anything further, Tracy?
Supplies, we're keeping that down. Cause their actual goes over.
Well, but see, look at their history. They kind of did it.
Yeah, they went over 1 year and then this year they didn't go, but they didn't have.
We didn't have any snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still continue to put 6 if you guys would like me to.
I think,
It's totally up to you guys.
I feel the 6 is more appropriate. For the,
Dave, you agree?
6?
Yes. I dropped it to 4, looking at history.
Yeah, I'm looking at the history too, and but I know the cost of supplies is going up.
Mhm.
Let's go with 6. Does that work for you?
That's fine.
Peggy, what is that account number? Do you
Oh,
have
I'm
it?
sorry.
37, I'm sorry.
37449.
We'll be right with
Perfect.
you, Randy.
Thank you.
Anything else for anybody?
Now, do you want to go back up on that fuel? That may increase, it may not. They didn't use much at all last year.
And
The year before they
depends
were
on how much
under.
snow we get when they're out there running.
So that's a quandary. I dropped it just 1,000 because of what the history
Mm-hmm.
kind of divided it.
I think 8 would be okay. We're in between of,
Based on their history.
yeah.
I think the rest looks okay.
Is that good or run on diesel? Okay,
Yeah, we got,
didn't know that. All right, any further questions on snowmobile?
So fuel will stay the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we have Randy here now, so let's switch to, what budget are you, Randy?
Building and grounds.
110.
Which I have to say looks a whole lot nicer these days.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
that.
indeed.
Got a ways to go, but it's getting there.
Considering we don't have the money for a major facelift, I think you're doing wonders. You've been lifting the old gal's face one eyebrow at a time.
Yep. I get that ramp in the front steps finished painted before winter. It'll look a lot better this winter.
Okay. I don't have an extra copy for the project form. Does anybody have an extra copy?
Building and grounds?
Is it in there?
Oh, for Randy.
Oh, for,
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll just go over it. They're just going over each line item,
Okay.
and then if
So
there's
what
any
is that
changes.
first one, building superintendent, what drove that change?
My guess is longevity.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only thing that we did anything on is longevity.
yeah, and some of his extra hours that were put in building that office, was part of the ARPA project. You had a way of moving some of his wages, for the building project, for that new office. Did that get done?
I didn't have it turned into.
You got me the hours,
Yeah, I did.
and I think I turned it in to the grant.
Probably got
But
this stage on my
after I
computer.
talk to you, I need to get the hours to you, so I will do that.
in
Because
terms of
I-
time.
Mhm. Okay,
I don't remember.
I'll have to look
Okay.
and see.
I'll make sure those hours, and that will offset what was paid out too, because his all overtime and hours building that office were paid, which was supposed to be under the grant, or we decided that you could do. Okay, I'll get that to you today.
I'm just just looking at percentage, that's a $4,000 increase on that salary for longevity.
Well, that's what you just said.
So what I was explaining is, all the hours he put in building that new office up on the third floor were supposed to come out of the, project that we had for the ARPA funds.
Right.
And those wages have not been moved yet, so I'm gonna get those hours to Peggy. And that'll drop that down.
Okay. The
Yeah,
second
like
time
that
you
much.
explained it, I got it.
Okay. Okay. Got a note, I'll get that to you.
Anybody else with anything under wages or under salary or under benefits? Anything to ask or highlight? Then we can move to the B budget, travel, office supplies. Looks like we've expended money in office supply, but not budgeted for it. Under 0440.
Take a look at that. It could just be a coding error.
Or he could have got some office supplies and
Yeah.
The only good office supplies I got are paper and
paper,
box paper, and that's about it.
so
Okay.
that's why.
Well,
Yeah,
pull it up and take a look.
that's my guess.
Okay.
It never was budgeted for. And then
Oh.
when you
I thought.
coded that
Okay.
into there,
And I code his things.
yes.
So when
okay.
I see an office supply, I just put it to office supplies.
So
and I didn't
he
realize
probably
there
never had a
wasn't-
line item for it ever prior.
Right. I don't think they ever did. So
Mhm.
Okay.
we can move it if we need to, or
Or
It's
we
like
could
just
just
okay.
move you know, it would be bottom line, but if he needs a budget for that for next year, that's where we
Wouldn't it
would
make
put it
sense
When I
in.
got more than I'll probably use it the whole time I'm here.
Wouldn't that
I
make
would
sense
suppose
is
they
to
give a
have
whole case
office
of it,
supply
so-
budget?
yeah, they've never needed one in
Then
the
that's one
past,
thing.
but
What's-
He was just talking about, we've never, he just said he got a whole case and he said, I said, well, if you need office supplies, we need to open up a line item. And he said, I'll never use it.
Probably not. The only thing I can think though that I could use is a new chair or something, but I was looking to get that anyway, so for myself. I don't know if that'd go into there or if it would go in there. Okay.
So,
I think
We got
that would probably
new
fit under
equipment.
furnishing.
Furnishings, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
we
thought,
got
office
$1,000
furnishing.
there. So
Okay, so we could leave that.
Okay.
Okay, next page, custodial supplies, maintenance supplies, everything's staying the same as last year.
Mhm.
custodial supplies. You feel we're accurate with the prices going up?
It's getting close to being topped out, but we only got, what, 2 more months before? And I just got a big supply of this. I think we're gonna come in right at what you
Okay.
allocated for me.
Okay.
Power, Randy, you're spending way too much on power.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing down there?
Well, it's all these ladies. I'm trying to keep them cool and warm, so.
you do a good job.
Some of, maintenance, building and fixtures, Peggy upped it because of spending history, I would assume.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not exactly what does that cover, Peggy?
Yeah,
Well, maybe I need to schedule a separate time that you can go over this stuff then. We'll do that. I can be a little more on where to put things when I buy it or need it.
Anybody have any other questions on the B budget?
No, not really.
It's all the same as last year.
Well, we've been talking about, remember we talked about bringing somebody in that was going to do the maintenance on the furnace?
Yeah, actually there's a, it was I saw that just a second ago.
Contract.
Yeah, maintenance contract. Yeah. We have a $15,000 budget for it, and
Is that about what that's gonna be?
they're their thing for the year is they're proposing like 5,200, so it's still going to be
Okay.
more than enough to cover that. And the only other thing I was going to talk to you guys about was maybe getting the price on snow removal if I need any hand on that. But that's just something I was looking into because I don't have anybody across the street right now. So
Well, that's-
They are trying to hire them.
are they? Okay. Okay.
They're trying to fill it.
On our contracts, have we been doing our elevator?
That's the only one I believe that's what that is the
Only one's
elevator.
coming out
Yeah.
of there.
I think
Right
so
now.
too.
Because when I got their invoice, that's what the amount was. So
Is that, I can't remember. They bill it quarterly or semi or?
semi, I think it's once a year or every 6 months. I think they've been here 3 times since I've been here. So I've been here a year, and a little over a year.
Okay, so they are hitting us every,
Yeah.
doing theirs. And, okay.
They show up and leave, and then they call and tell me they were here. So I wish they'd call me ahead of time.
Well, maybe reach out to them.
Yeah.
I would like to know.
I sent them an email last time.
Well, Randy, do you have any other questions about this budget? It's the same as last year, really.
No. I just like I said, if I can get together with maybe Peggy and have them explain the
Sure, we'll go through the
things a little
accounts
better,
for
then I
you.
can help her be a little more on where everything goes when I go out to get things.
Did we spend something out of capital that we didn't budget for this year too? 898.
It appears we did, but
That could have been the building of the new space on the second floor.
Yeah, because that's what it looks like. It's about what it was up there. It hasn't.
And that should all be ARPA funds too.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll check that out when you make a note to check out what that invoice was. We can journal entry it if so. We'll get it
Yeah.
all before Peggy and I'll get you those wages.
Yep.
okay, any other questions or comments from commissioners, clerk, building and maintenance? Randy, makes sense to you?
It's making more sense this year than it did last. But like I said, if I could get a little coaching on it, I could help
Yeah.
make it easier on everybody.
Appreciate it.
That's good.
Bring the donuts tomorrow morning.
You got it. Donuts and coffee. I'll be here.
Okay,
Thanks for the good work you're doing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, guys.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Randy.
You betcha.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody care what we do next?
Take your pick.
I got county general sitting on top of me. County general. 18. There are no salaries, there are no benefits. So, looks like everything is just the same as last year, Peggy, is that correct?
Pretty much. The only thing that I question is like that silver retainer.
I was just looking at that. What
Yeah.
is that for?
I looked it up and I can't remember what it was. You know, that was clear back in May, but that was something that, and well, I think it was off of one of the court cases that you guys had.
Probably that Silver Mountain.
Or the West Fork, and it should be up in the prosecutor's budget.
We'll try to,
We'll look it
we'll,
up.
we'll look that one up too. So it can be moved if necessary.
Okay, I see you increased for the audit. That's our annual audit, that's budgeted here, correct?
I did, based on last year, but I wasn't sure. We should have the problems,
We shouldn't have the problems.
No.
but I don't know if Tony's doing, I don't know if he talked to you guys, if he's planning on going up. So I just kind of rounded it.
Yeah, okay.
Any questions or comments on the audit?
No.
It's just more money, we have to keep finding more money. Everything else I'm looking at looks like it matches last year's. General reserve matches.
Animal control. So-
Animal control, I don't understand why we need that much.
Well, because then apparently there was some change in help down at the city of Osborne
Mhm.
from their clerk. And I got an email saying, do you guys just automatically send payment out? And I wrote back, no, you have to bill us.
Mhm.
They didn't get it in 2023, so I added it in this year for the dogs. They keep
Okay.
track of our dogs for us in the count. So,
Cause they have the 1 pound,
They
okay,
have one
yeah,
or 2
that,
pounds that we
Mhm.
contract with.
right.
so,
So I increased it to the 300. So,
okay,
and like I told her, I can't go back, but I can go forward. And we paid her this year.
so. Okay, I'll wait till we get there. Hold on.
Postage, it looks like we're charging postage, but we don't budget postage.
We need to look that up.
Okay,
Why would,
Yeah, journal entry, probably.
Probably.
right, coding errors, wrong one.
Mm-hmm.
So we can journal entry it to the proper.
and then I get nervous with lines like miscellaneous expense. Is that? It just seems so
Yeah, I know what,
miscellaneous.
well, it's $7.50. It really is. I see that in there. I don't know what that is, but I'll look, Dave. That, in 2023, we were minus, so, and then I'm wondering if those are some attorney fees or Silver Mountain fees.
Okay.
That's kind of what my,
Maybe we can, instead of miscellaneous expense, we can use a better.
That's what.
yes, I don't like it.
Just that name
But,
just
yeah.
implies slush fund or something.
Yeah.
you know?
No.
It's like,
What do you want to call it?
I was hoping you'd have a good name for it. I don't know what we're using it for. Is it a catch-all?
No.
I mean, what is it?
Well, I'd have to look it up for you, and then I'll email you guys, and then you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe something besides miscellaneous just sounds a little sloppy.
Do you want me to knock that line item out completely?
Yeah.
Because it hasn't, I mean, I think we can get something a little better
Yeah.
terminology.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because miscellaneous, I mean, it kind of gives somebody that's not, I mean, I'm not saying lazy, but not.
Poor planning.
Poor planning, that,
Well,
oh,
it's,
I don't know what it is.
yeah,
Let's
well,
stick it in this one.
well, you know, this kind of thing was it documentations that needed to be copied,
Yeah,
and they didn't know,
yeah,
for county general.
yeah.
Let's identify, county general doesn't have, any labor or any of that, but
Yeah, if they can't figure it out where the expense goes, they'll just put it in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So the. Where'd it go?
but nothing's really changed.
The soil conservation is what confuses me. They used to be under one fund. Now we got Benawa coming out of one and Kootenai coming out of one.
I've seen that, but I didn't change.
I don't know why it was moved to created in county general or wherever.
So, right here, 1,000.
Is that Keaton or is that Benoit?
I think that's been a while in county general.
Which we used to only pay $750, I think, to Benawa. No, I had my stuff. My folder got all messed up here, but I had it all printed out on those soil.
She has it in her book, don't you?
I do.
We can go in and get that.
I have the history on it because you had even emailed, and I had
Yeah, I
looked
was
at it
questioning
too.
it, yeah.
It went way up, and it used to only be so much. And when I've asked what benefit we get out of it, I didn't get much of a response
From them or from me?
from them.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah, I when they sent the request, I asked. Well, here's part. Well, Kootenai, I sent as part of our review for our upcoming budget. Would it be possible to have a list of projects that have been completed in Shoshone County throughout the years? To see where. Here's County General.
but do you have a little cheat sheet? We're looking for your cheat sheet.
Is that it? Yeah, this one.
I don't see the in here. I don't see it, Trey, in here either.
I can get to it,
Yeah.
but honestly, I think because it is pretty much a donation.
Well, I think as commissioners, I think we did a great job at asking them to give you guys what they had done within Shoshone County. Because I think that's the key to having them reported. You know, I don't think we've ever considered it as a donation, because I think there used to be projects, and it was always, before the board of county, they came in and reported to you guys. Years back, they came in and reported so that you always knew what was going on. But I don't know if they've ever been in to report to you guys. No,
I don't think Benoit has. John Groth has, and he's with Kootenai, correct?
Kootenai has.
Yeah, Kootenai has, but Benoit has not.
And we're pretty sure this one is Benoit.
I'll double check. All I have to do is look at the history real quick.
Do you think it would
And
make
I
more sense
had
to
it.
drop that down a little?
I think with the Benoit one, if we figure out which one fund they're coming out of, they could go back to the 750 that we
So,
used to.
just been a while, 750.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll find out which budget it is.
Okay.
We'll get together on that.
Yeah.
But they have never been in to you guys?
I have not seen Benoit.
Not Benoit, just Kootenai.
John Groth's come in twice or once
Once,
with Kootenai.
for sure.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other comments on County General?
No.
If not, we should roll on.
Okay.
What you roll.
Well, I have liability insurance in front of me, that's a shorty. But we got some major increases in this little shorty.
Well, that's liability. Oh, yeah. That was given to me.
Right, Grant?
I grant.
So they really jumped us from 225 to 269.
See, did they go away with the, we used to do training for the county employees, which would help give us discounts, and I haven't seen anything sent out. Did they do away with that?
I don't know, this is what I got from my grant estimated.
Wish we could just randomly raise our rates.
Yeah. That's what I got, 269.97, so,
Okay,
but I do have a question there.
which is,
On the liability insurance, on my estimation over the carryover on this, The liability is short on carryover. And so my question to the commissioners, because of self-insurance has got a pretty good sized fund in it,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to take 75,000 out of self-insurance and bring it into the liability insurance account.
Okay.
And that would increase that carryover.
The 25% carryover.
Yeah, that increases that, and that's no tax liability to the taxpayers.
Okay.
So that's why. And if that is something that the commissioners agree with me, then I would need a resolution for that.
Okay. I would agree to that, because basically you're just,
It doesn't
Just
affect our
moving fund
self-insurance
funds.
fund
No,
at all. So
no, you're in pretty good shape there.
That makes
Chair?
sense to me.
so we can get that on the
Would
agenda.
you mark that down that we would need to create a resolution?
Would it go in the consent agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Absolutely.
Good call, Heather.
75,000 from self
75,000.
to liability.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anything else on liability insurance? We're going to protest our increases. Okay. Peggy, is that good for you? Okay, let's move on. Self-insurance. Since we were just discussing that. And this is our Delta Dental. And I'm assuming the reason we dropped the amount is because of what we're actually spending.
Yes.
I like that. Does that mean people aren't using it? What does that mean?
We're all old, got dentures.
That might make it go up, I don't know. Okay.
Not
well,
as much maintenance, is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that? We've only got the one line item.
No.
Moving on. Public health, I'm going and trying to go in the same order Peggy's book is. Everybody's good. Public Health District. This is our contribution, right, to Panhandle?
Mental Health District.
So it's one line item. I know they told us they weren't asking for an increase, so I think my question is, why the small increase? I thought during your presentation, they said they weren't asking for an increase this year.
It's slightly more than last year, but still less than the previous year. We had a there was a 5% wage increase.
I just thought I remembered in his presentation, he said their ask wasn't changing, that they were able to fit that in.
No, it did go up slightly than last year.
It did. Okay,
So
that's not what I took out of that meeting. But- So it went up 2,000.
yeah,
So it's 11.
for 25 is
256. For 25, 112,256. What I got, Tracy, what do you have?
fiscal year.
Katie, what line are you looking at?
Right here, let me grab
Their
this.
billing.
This is what I'm looking at. This came in after. But you know, on the bottom it says Shoshone County.
allocation.
So I have 112,256.
Yes,
And that's increase of 2,000.
that's what I have.
About,
I thought he said no change, so I'm kind of surprised
No,
to see.
I do recall he did.
so is that what you guys want
It-
to go on the sheet or?
12,000, so that's like
It was a
10%. That's a pretty big change for no change.
Mhm.
But what option do we have with them? I mean,
this was our difference. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
why are we getting a different increase than the other?
Overall, I believe it was their 5% wage increase in the Panhandle Health District to their employees. That
We got a 5% increase.
They got
I
a
have a
5% COLA. Yeah, and we're paying for it.
Mhm.
So what are our options? We can't tell them no, can we? I mean, that's our county's share.
yeah.
But
What we're
That's a Ben's question.
the fiscal year prior was a lot more. It's still down from what we were paying.
yeah, it was 113, but we're almost back to that. Now, on this sheet I just got from Peggy, it says 103, 105.
5, that's what I heard before I got, that was after, this I got afterwards.
But it's really 112.
It's 112, which I've got my change here.
112,256.
Well, I don't really feel comfortable approving that one, but I don't know what my options are.
Well, I'm meeting with Ben, one of us tomorrow.
I don't know if you can call them, see.
Oh, well, you're on that board still, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just, what's
Oh, we-
caught me is in a public meeting, we were told there would be no change.
Mhm.
Well, let's review that again because I do recall him discussing the slight change in premium difference.
Well, but maybe my 105 isn't there a difference in, solid waste.
Solid waste pays a part of the first quarter. There's a percentage.
so that's where my difference might be, where that 105 is, correct?
Because always is
Oh.
paying.
Yeah,
for it.
but so
Yeah.
we're not. Yeah,
So it's probably
for the
not.
first quarter, there's a percentage that solid waste pays out,
Mhm.
and then the rest goes out of the Fund 11.
And I'll check that.
Yeah.
That 105 might be correct,
Okay.
but still,
Still,
he told you there was no benefit.
yeah, that's just my, do you
Okay.
recall that?
Well, let's look at the meeting again because I heard different.
Yeah,
Because I do recall
and you were
discussing.
probably paying attention better because you're on that board. I'm just, 10% is,
But I was aware that we did have a slight increase. I get it.
okay, any other questions on public health? Going,
No.
I think historical is next in the big book. But I don't know that I have a sheet for that.
I don't see a sheet either. I started, Tracy.
I thought we printed it. I don't know here.
I don't have it.
I don't either. Let's see if there's any change.
There was no,
Maybe we accidentally skipped it when we were doing them all.
there was no change in anything.
Mhm.
Sometimes 15 is 15, historical side is 55, it's 55. Yeah, that's it.
So everything's the same as last year.
Same as last year's. I didn't change a whole lot of anything other than,
Oh, show Tracy that.
Did you want?
Yeah, I have to look at it real quickly. This real small one too.
it's at 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Okay.
And you work the most out of that one, so you would know.
So, yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
all right. Junior college,
oh, okay.
and just want, I think I'm getting mixed up on this one. This is money that we pay that helps offset Shoshone County people going to
School.
to NIC,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And you've dropped it from 50 to 40, I assume that based on spending,
Yes.
okay? Because we're only spending 34 so far this year,
Right.
and 31 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good with that. How about the rest of it?
I am, yeah.
Okay,
And I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen there. Yeah, are they gonna be credited and so they continue to be credited?
oh, NIC? Yeah, I don't know. That seems to be the only place in the world with more politics than
Yeah.
here.
But we do pay other colleges that we get bills from.
Okay, are we all done with junior college? Yep. Following the book, we already did parks.
So we have 1-5 commissioners, is that on the list? Did you do that?
Did you do the commissioners?
We have not yet.
No. I don't think so.
Let's do the commissioners. I'm trying to find it in my book right at the moment.
1-5.
Up towards the front.
I didn't change anything there.
So we're looking at exactly the same as last year.
Added the Viva back in.
I don't show it on my sheet.
It's here on my sheet.
Okay, that's the one we printed today.
Viva.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, it shows on my sheet here.
Yeah, we took it out last year, but she's got it back in for this year.
So it might not be picking up on one of these reports. On my
Yeah, this is the one we just did today. Let's
I
see.
know, but on this report, it's here.
Okay. Yeah, just as long as it's still picking up, but it didn't print out today.
Yeah, it's here.
It's right here.
Viva.
Oh, 2,500?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I go over far enough?
Is it?
I just seen blank lines. Okay.
What? I thought,
Yeah.
but see, I had found where some of these reports don't match.
Right, that's what I was trying to make sure.
On the computer system.
Mhm.
So I thought, well, mine says here.
Just like last year, our power, whatever, didn't print out, but it was budgeted.
Yeah.
It was looked like it was missed, but it didn't print out on the report.
Okay, any questions on the A budget? Or a question on benefit?
No.
And then we move on to the B budget, same as last year. Everything's wrapped up there. Office supplies is the only thing that came close. I don't have any questions on the commissioner budget.
I don't either.
We already trimmed it last year, so, and we're staying the same this year. Peggy, any comment? No? Okay,
Why do we have advertising legal notices when we usually pay it out of county general? do?
It must be something that you commissioners do. It's always been there.
Okay,
I wonder if it's for the
They're only
auctions.
$100.
maybe for the auctions or something. I think it
might
might
be
still be county general too, I
Yeah.
would think. Yeah, I just don't remember using it.
I don't either, but I left it there just because it was in there last year, and like I said, I didn't change a whole lot. The only ones I had some in question I did,
Okay,
but I can knock it out of there.
well, I mean, it's $100, we could leave it, I just, just what
Well-
caught my eye, and I don't ever remember paying out of that line. We can leave it, if that's okay with everyone else, I don't care.
117 indigent.
And
That's a new fund.
yeah, so I don't see it when I look.
In 117,
Just because you
I
gotta
have
go
the
towards
wrong
the
part
front,
here.
or just go up towards the front, towards, current expense.
Because you guys use numbers and keep them in order.
We had a few years using those numbers.
well, this one's brand new.
Yeah,
I wished I could have went 116, but I already signed it to elections. Because
Oh,
it's-
yeah,
It's in your brain.
mm-hmm, 16,
So this is a
116.
new expense to current expense.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because you had they budgeted in, some of it was in indigent last year, and then some of it was in current expense again. So I closed out that indigent completely, put it all in current expense. So, and then I identified apartment within current expense, which would make it easier because they were kind of running it through county general.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, still needs its own line.
yeah, so I made its own little department.
So the burial, of course, is the big line item. And what did you base that on? What we did last year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I don't know that we have too many options there.
Yeah, and postage should have went way down now that we're not sending all those medical notes
It's down to
out.
300.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
The only thing
Used to
is
be
on
huge.
postage, I asked, I said, are those statements from indigent still being done quarterly basis? And they said, well, sometimes we do. I said, no, it has to be mailed out quarterly.
yes, they do. That's still money owed to the county.
That's money owed to the county. So I
Yeah.
said, that might want to increase that postage a shade
Okay,
because of that, because I said that, I want that mailed out quarterly. to do
Right.
that. So-
because it does prompt them to come in and
Yes,
make a
it
payment,
does.
and it goes.
So maybe 600?
Yeah,
Mhm.
the way postage has been going.
Yeah, the way the postage is.
So it's going to increase 300.
Yes.
Let's just invest a whole bunch in those forever stamps.
Yeah, we should.
Buy a 5-year supply.
Take the ARPA funds.
Buy postage. It's probably not a bad investment.
Yeah.
Can you turn around and sell them in 2 years and make it?
Well, can we go to community projects?
Yep. Yeah, they can go into community projects.
Yeah.
Number am I?
It's 137. Okay,
So
what is the increase in senior citizens?
there was a letter that was missed from the previous year, and I caught it in her book. It was, they asked for a $2,000 increase, and it was never increased last year. I didn't even see that it got addressed
for which one?
for the seniors.
Oh, okay.
They went from last year from being funded for 7 days down to 5 days. So for the seniors. So anyway, I stuck it in there. That's a a discussion point, and that's why I wrote what I did, increase per letter. So that is a decision what you guys are gonna discuss, or yay or nay.
And help me out, this goes to the.
Meals on-
Meals on Wheels program,
Wheels. Yeah,
Yes.
I just lost the word Meals on Wheels.
yes.
And they just reduced that to 5 days a week instead of 7.
Well, no,
For the-
for the
For
funding,
the funding.
for the funding. They reduced it from paying us, so, yeah,
Well-
for the funding, so,
Yeah.
I don't see a problem.
I tend to agree.
I tend to agree.
Any help we can do our seniors and
Let's leave it at 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
we didn't change anything else.
so this is where that soil and water is in this fund too. This is where it was community projects and
This is KC's. 3,000.
yeah. Why can't we make one line item under community projects and move that one out of county general and make them
It was never in a community project.
no or wherever it used to,
It used to be
combine
out
it
of
back to where it's supposed to
county
be.
General.
so that when we look for them, we can find them all under one spot.
It sounds like plan to me.
So this
Okay.
should be under county general.
This
instead of-
was always prior to county general, and I had line items for that.
That's why we don't have any history in it.
So we'll move this out of
The
this.
3,000, yes.
And just it should just be soil and water conservation line item instead of Kootenai or Benowa,
Yeah.
so we know where we pay them. Yeah,
So, on account number 647,
it's going to be moved to 118. Or was it
118.
680? Soil conservation is what the line item says.
and it was $3,000.
Yeah, so you want to increase that to $4,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll move this 3,000 and add it to the 1,000.
750,
Oh.
because we knocked the other
Oh,
one down
right.
to 750.
So it'll, yeah, sorry.
Because we weren't sure what they do for Shoshone County.
3,750
Yep.
total. Okay. Okay.
Okay, any other questions on community projects, comments?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just going, I only have one sheet left from Peggy, and that's fish hatchery.
I have
What is your-
airport, waterways, fish hatchery, data processing.
I just don't have.
Oh.
Sheets on those.
Yeah, we didn't print this.
You do. Okay.
We've got airport and waterways.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to go print them? Or they're
Airport, waterways.
in their books.
Fish
We
hatchery.
didn't change any of those were,
Okay. Do we go by what's in our book?
yes, you can go by what's in the book. Okay.
Let's do the fish hatchery.
Oh, I got fish hatchery up right here, if everybody's
Yep.
looking at that one.
Solid waste fees were more.
Is there
This
an
year?
administrative cost change and that was it?
That's gonna catch up with it, so,
Okay, good.
from what I was told.
Okay.
Any comments on fish hatchery? No, same as last year. It would be fun to be able to go through and actually figure out how to spend more money, but we never get that option. Figure out how to not spend more money.
And that
Okay,
always will be that way. Well, it's just,
Waterway or airport?
everything goes up and
Yeah,
we-
waterways.
Waterways, Fund 38.
Okay. And looks like there was administrative cost was added.
yeah, administrative costs. But that was in the fish hatchery too, I believe.
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
And then, nothing else has changed.
Nope.
Well, it went up, or never mind, no, nothing else has changed except for that.
Same thing.
Are we still good on the? Yeah, just looking at our river improvement in St. Joe.
Okay,
We're still good.
I have no questions on waterways. Does anybody else?
I'm good there.
Airport, I might wanna, it's the same as the book, we don't have any changes?
The only thing I added was probably administrative cost, Dave. That's the only thing. Same as the book.
And, reduce fuel cost by,
Oh, 25,000.
yeah.
And are we showing our fuel income?
Yeah, it shows in, and I saw fuel income came in. I wished it came in, it showed in, on the
All these expense
on the
things.
expense things, but it doesn't. There's a revenue sheet that shows fuel.
Right.
Okay,
And I
so,
think we were right in there with what the revenue was, wasn't it?
Yeah, so basically revenue covers the fuel.
well, it should make a profit,
Yeah, it does. It makes like $1 profit.
dollar.
And now
Gallon.
80 cent, and now it's 80 cents or something a profit. So it's, yeah, so it shows some profit, but
Do we need to
what I'm
up our?
saying is that,
How are we on our competitive price wise? What we're charging?
We seem to be right in the middle.
Right in there.
we're right in there with everybody else. That's the problem with aviation fuel is
There's not a lot of
there's
markup.
no markup in it really.
Do we also show?
Airport hangars is another one that it looks like when I hit the button to copy, it missed it.
Okay, so we need to add
That 3,000.
3,000 airport hangars. Okay.
Is that our rent that we get?
No, that's an expense it'd be an expense. Like, we have that one, well, we only have one left. It's
One
airport.
left that, but we just keep that
That'd be
expense for
maintenance.
that. Okay.
We rent it out.
So you want that in there? Or you don't want that in
Yeah,
there?
we should have it
We
in
should
there so
probably
we
have
still
it in
have.
there in case something happens to the hangar. We gotta
Yeah.
fix it.
Okay,
What's the account number?
898.
552. 89802.
Are we showing income for the Forest Service contract?
Not until probably we won't get it till next year. I mean, this next year, because they don't pay us.
Yeah, but
Are
I
they
will
using it
need-
now?
I will need
Resin.
I will need a projection for that.
Are they using it this fiscal year?
We're gonna pay at the end of the fire season, so September probably.
For this year, so that's an additional new revenue.
That'd be a small new revenue, be a few $1,000s.
And then the next year, what you want me to put in my revenue is?
5,000. That'd be a reasonable.
Yeah, we probably should ask Randy to see how we can see if we can count helicopters.
Well, the last time I checked with him, we had 3,000 or 4,000 this year so far, I thought. So, if we wanna, I mean, we're estimating, cause it's
Yeah,
based
it's a
on
projection.
fire,
It's just a projection.
fire danger.
Yeah, I think 5,000 would be safe to
We can-
project that you said.
That's for revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have the rental income from all the other hangars?
I think that comes
But I
in
just seen it.
in income. I haven't.
That's what I just wanna make sure all of our incomes are
I got
showing.
ground rent of 8,000.
That's for
Yeah.
okay.
I have fuel cell of 39,375.
Yeah, it seemed like under the last clerk, she kept telling me we were losing money on fuel, but I know we charge more than we pay for it, so we
Yeah.
should, other than theft, we shouldn't have losses.
That could have been where we were losing.
Well,
that
see, I've
too.
got where the income is 39,000 basic and you're 35 for the expense side, so you're gaining. And it's a projection, it's just,
Yeah,
because you got evaporate, I know you got evaporation and stuff.
And then don't you lose several gallons because you have to test it and then throw it out? And
but we're kind of recycling that into the lawnmowers out there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
Good.
We're not wasting it.
Yeah, because that was ridiculous.
Makes good lawnmower fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on airport?
No,
Just want to make sure our income was accurate there, because it's starting to show some. Okay. We've already done fish taxes.
Okay. Did we get everything on the list, Heather? Or what we
Data
missing?
processing.
Oh, 141.
141.
And that was changed as of Friday.
Okay.
So we need to probably go pull a sheet, would you? I'll run upstairs and get one.
Don't
Can
run.
I?
Can't we print it off of Lori's? Do you have financials?
What do we need? 141. Budget and budget. Are you? You might want to. You might want
Here's the number. Okay.
like 4 copies, please.
So is the goal tomorrow with meetings with Peggy is to tell us where we're at?
Oh, yeah, it should be. Well, she should be. What they gotta do is they gotta, notice it out, right? Right, Mo? Oh, no, that's next week. Yeah, that should be all good.
I think part of tomorrow will be just kind of going over there's any questions, like the prosecutor had a question, things like that. Just kind of cleaning everything up, making sure she has, all the notes that she needs and any questions that you guys have to, that, everything that you guys have gone over. If there's any stray issues hanging out there that we could clean up for tomorrow.
Yeah, because she's gotta still get it put in everything that we just got from the sheriff's office today.
Yeah, all of these she needs to go in and
Yeah, that's gotta all go in, and then they gotta say, okay, are we gonna break the levy or not?
That's the part. My mind works the other way. I still
And
think
that'll
we ought
help me to
to,
write down.
we ought to have some idea of where we are on, as we've gone through all these meetings, saying, sure, we'll put that in, or no, we're just best guessing still. We don't have any bottom line. We don't know what the bottom line is. Like, we've only got this much to spend.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the opposite of how I budget at home. I always know how much I have to spend, and then I spread it out. Here, it seems.
I think I had notes in that payables binder that showed solid waste portions of that Panhandle Health District invoice.
Right. The whole nother
Yes.
issue.
And
it could be in there.
that's, I want to look at their budget because
I don't know if BJ, did I see him here today?
Yeah,
He was floating
he is
around.
here. Yes.
He probably needs to come and talk to you on the data processing. He had given me more figures, because he had written Colleen and asked Colleen about some things, and then he came back and redid the figures for us, so.
Would you like me to reach out and see if he's in the building?
If he's-
Yep. I'll be right back. He is. He's got my laptop, so
Oh, does he?
he's here. I've talked to him.
We
Yeah.
should get a
Just
PA, so you just meet them if you're in the building. Please
We're-
come
we're
to the
still on
principal's
film.
office.
I'll tell you what story after you got there. It's hysterical. You can say PA. Yeah, there was quite a few figures to knock off of BJ's, because I had him at 180.
Mm.
Data processing is a little bit my head, I don't know, from the security, I don't know.
This is our last one, right?
Yes.
Can't find anything else.
No, I should do it.
Does Heather get one?
I didn't know, did she get one or not? She just writing notes.
Just writes the notes.
Thank you.
So it looks like you did budget Panhandle Health District into solid waste too, I see. So
Yeah, so
it's
that
there.
figure probably is correct. I probably
Yeah.
took it between the two, my guess. And I forgot about it when we were talking about it.
Well, I'd go back and watch the tape where he said, where I thought he said blah, 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 but he's not here anymore anyway, so
Yeah, but we have it recorded.
I know, but
Oh, to talk to
he's
Don
retired.
Duffy. Our new director is really nice though.
It's just that $10,000-12,000 is 10% increase is pretty hefty.
Yeah, but I don't think it's 10%.
He's on his way.
Pardon?
He's on his way.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Don't you wish we had a PA where you could just get on there and say, please come to the principal's office?
See, everyone should carry a radio so I can say, "This is Heather. Please report to the commissioner's office, please.
Your parents are waiting.
Your parents are waiting." When Peggy calls out, so we say, "Oh, you're in trouble." Don't we, Lori? Yeah. They're like, "Oh, Heather, you have to call Peggy. She needs to talk to you." Okay. They're like, "Oh."
Well, we found, Timmy came out and she said, found this in your basket. So you had done them. And I had thought you were going to email them.
Yes. Okay, and I just made
but you
copies?
had made copies.
Okay.
And, with all the changes. So
Like, I thought I touched those on Friday before I left.
you did.
I made copies. I didn't scan an email.
No, that's
So I'm digging through the email. I go, I know it's in here. No, it's just copies. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Come on in. Come on in. He's like,
I
thanks for the heads up, Heather.
don't know if I want to be in here.
we changed the figures as what you wanted me to do. So I'm at the 211.
Let's see. Also, I have some questions. I don't know if they're for you or for the commissioners regarding some questions I've been getting asked this morning from different departments.
They're probably for Peggy, but
Whatever.
Is this the one from?
Looking at this upcoming budget year.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you're not showing, but it's reflected in the numbers. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
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 Oh no! Wait. I asked for 35 cents more.
I round.
Oh, you ran down.
I did.
Okay.
okay. So we're just going through this
Line by
line by line.
Yeah.
Peggy
Okay.
said there were some changes, and we were hoping you could help them explain the changes.
Okay. Do you want me to go through line by line, or how, or do you have specific questions about?
Well, we can just go off the questions, or Peggy, if you remember things that changed. Like,
No, I got these. We started out with the original from the previous year, and then
So the thing that's kind of misleading there from the previous year is that the computer arts stuff out of 498 was not separate like it is what we're asking for now. It's actually separating the computer arts total. I don't know what those totals are, so that's I have no idea. Everything else pretty much I know what it is, but the computer arts has always been a question mark. So there's that. I don't know if that's
We created that new line item to separate computer
Yeah.
Try to help.
expenses.
Yeah.
We're trying to help.
That'll be good. Yes.
Well, because what I do is I then, take the final numbers and I have my own spreadsheet based on the things I know that are being billed out and what's coming in from IBM and that kind of stuff. So I can keep track and know exactly without having to bother Heather or the clerk and say, hey, where are we at with the current worksheet? The internet expense, is this being recorded like publicly?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we will talk about that later. I know there were some questions. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah, the
fine.
internet's going up. The expenses are going up. So
Yes. The hardware maintenance went down because there's only one category or one bill that comes from that from IBM for the AS400, and which eventually is going to be going away because the state's replacing the software on that. It will be a Windows server, but it's actually less because what they did was they raised the software. The software maintenance covers the IBM charge as well. So there's two charges there. 498 is jumping. I think it's considerable, especially when you pull the computer art stuff out, because of the Microsoft licensing changes. So in the coming year, we're going to have to start moving the machines to Windows 11. We just pretty much got almost everything up on Windows 10 the last 2 years. And the Windows 11, you have two different options. You can buy the license outright, or you can roll it into the subscription that the county is already paying for the MS365. They have a level for that. And that's the way we have that priced in there for that, because not every machine is going to get moved at one time. So you don't want to be buying all the licenses but not using them yet. But we can just kind of upgrade as we go. So that amount will actually not be the full amount because it'll happen over time. But it will be happening over next year. We probably wouldn't even start that till like January or February.
Okay. Now that's the one where they're going to start charging us an annual fee for it, for them basically renting Windows. Or is that what they're?
Right. So right now the email is like that. You sign or you have an annual agreement, but it's billed monthly.
Okay.
And this is moving to the level that has the operating system included, so there's not those additional licensing charges for the workstations.
Okay.
The servers are still on a 3-year cycle, where the same thing, you're agreeing for 3 years, but you're getting billed annually for that. So that stuff doesn't change. That's that $6,800 or so. That's for the Windows servers that are running the computer art software. That's for your SQL server, which means you're always going to get the latest upgrades. So when the state or computer art says, hey, we need you guys to move to the next version of SQL Server, we already have that covered. It's just getting it out there, deployed. So that doesn't change. It's not really lined out here, is it? That's all part of that 32,000. The big change is that Microsoft 365, where it's adding not only the annual or the monthly stuff for the email, but also for the operating system. And so as they upgrade beyond that to 12 or whatever they're going to go to next, it's just automatically included. Now, not every machine necessarily in the building would get that, but that does cover the bulk of the actual machines that are in use. Yeah, cybersecurity specific, typically that can be covered by the cybersecurity grants that Dan does through emergency management. But we never know until he gets the next year where they say, okay, there's this much. And then it depends on what the sheriff needs out of it, what I guess fire departments, radios or something. It's more than just cybersecurity specific to the building. But a lot of times we can get a lot of that covered out of that. The same thing with the 2600 that you see there. That is for some management software that I use to go ahead and keep track of the system and deploy updates and things like that. Especially to the remote systems like your guys' laptops or like at the airport.
The system management.
That's the, I'm sorry. You know
That's
what?
okay.
I'm looking at my detail for that 498.
That's all right.
Okay. So system management falls under, so the website is, and some of these more recent bills from this past, they haven't been put in the right category.
Okay.
That's why they're off.
They
But
need
you
to
guys
move
pay
them.
for, is it Gravitas, I think it is, that does the website and they
Yeah.
host it and everything. That's what that is. I have nothing to do
Okay.
with that.
So we'll check those and see if they need just coded wrong, need moved to the right line.
Yeah, I can go through that and show you which ones. I gave some already to me before, but they probably haven't
Okay.
been done yet. The computer operations, typically what falls in that is all of the time that I spend that gets charged to data processing.
Mhm.
and in the past, cybersecurity as well. So we've done a lot of cybersecurity stuff. We've had even the CrowdStrike issue. That was a whole day
Mhm.
recovering from that. That all would come under, that computer operations, that 677,0003.
Okay.
That number has not changed, other than I asked Peggy and Timmy to create a special category just for cybersecurity, only as a way of tracking that out. Just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you have an idea, so I have an idea. Some of that can't really be covered by the cybersecurity grant because that is, even though I'm not an employee, that's still considered labor. A lot of the cybersecurity grant stuff, if we're doing a project, sort of like with the ARPA or the LATCF, if it was a project and it wasn't something that, like you're being contracting it out, that's different than having an employee hour, time, et cetera, the way I understand it. So that covers that. The new equipment and software purchases. Okay, so this goes back several years. There was no budget set aside to replace equipment on a regular schedule, to upgrade equipment on a regular schedule. And so for several years, I had been asking for a category that we could do. Most places will do a third, like every 3 years, they're replacing equipment. And I said, well, we can stretch it out to 5 years. So basically, there'd be another replacement computer every 5 years, and not having to hit everything at once. And we did that because for the longest time there was no money to upgrade the servers, and that hurt dearly.
Well, and that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand is if Microsoft, if they do the server, they only support it for so long, and then the software, and then you have to replace it, and you have to upgrade.
Well, there is that. That's really the licensing stuff, but we're talking, this one is about the
Security.
hardware
Okay.
of it. Yeah, they're always going to be forcing updates to the operating system
Yeah.
in the name of cybersecurity. It's not 100% necessary, but when everything, say, in a business depends on that, you can't have, one problem. You need to cover your bases. So it's kind of like insurance. You have to do that. The hardware can last a lot longer than that, especially with what we do. Part of what we do here with a lot of the services is they're virtualized. So you have a really big, powerful piece of hardware that can run multiple servers on it instead of you having all these physical boxes.
Okay.
And so those are what, you want to be upgrading those. You want to be planning for that because, picking up one of those to handle all the other stuff could cost you $15,000 or $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see the category only has 9,600 in it for the whole year. So the idea of the 20% was to be able to purchase network equipment, as we needed to upgrade networking hardware, purchase workstations, purchase printers, and put it towards server equipment like that.
See, and my question is, I don't remember seeing anything that's been subtracted off of current expense for that line item holding that for that equipment.
And that's because last year they moved that into the LATCF. So last year, what happened was there was a $31,200 amount. They're right there, under 23, that was moved out into that and covered by LATCF. And then as that was category to be used up, I would just be submitting those invoices once it was approved, submit those to Colleen, and it came out of that.
Okay.
That, what you're not seeing on here, is where there is about 15,000 left over that either would have to be used up by the end of this fiscal year or rolled into fiscal year 25. And so that's where I made the request here to roll that 15,000 into 498, which decreases or offsets some of that increased licensing cost coming in 25. So that's what you don't see. What you don't see is that amount when I first gave it to Peggy was not 32, it was 47,000. And I know that that's something that has to be approved, that if it is approved, then that could be moved into there rather than having to use that 15,000 in the next month. But out of that, I mean, about half of that has been used to purchase hardware and printers and workstations and upgrades. And so by putting the $9,600 in there, that basically is trying to put something in there since we don't necessarily have that going forward. It doesn't mean it gets used. It just means it's there if we run into a problem.
I like the capital.
Well, that's what my question is long-range planning.
Yeah.
And maybe we should open up a trust account with long-range planning for such as equipment. You know, when you're hitting everyone's budget line item, and then bring it down to it like a trust, so that you know that cash is sitting there
We can
each
do that.
year.
Okay.
Well,
Because
In place of-
yeah, I can give you an idea. When we did the phones, switched over to the voice, I was not a part of that. I wasn't asked about it ahead of time. And when they moved forward that decision, what they didn't understand at that time was how the infrastructure inside the building couldn't even support that. Now, we had some category in there, but there was a ton of stuff that was not covered by any of that, and that had to come out of somewhere. And I know that that particular year, the DP budget was way over. I don't know how all the finances figured out, but that was because we didn't have the stuff set aside for a big project like that was required just to fulfill the contract that they signed to go ahead and move forward on the phones. So we're in a much better position now. I would say we, but I mean, the courthouse is in a much better position with the networking and with the equipment, and that's why the phones do work. Most of the time, if they don't work, it's because of Mitel. It's not because of your equipment here. And so that's what you don't want. There was also, how many years ago this was, when one of the servers, they had 3 physical servers, and one of them completely crashed, and it was the email server, because the email was being done in-house. And there was about a 2-week period that the commissioners were scrambling, trying to come up with some solution to get that up and going again, because all the emails stopped. You couldn't receive anything, people were getting it bounced back, and you couldn't send anything because it was in-house. And that's when the quickest way to get things back up and running without having to quickly go buy a server and spend all the time doing that and the money doing that was to move to MS365, which is where they've been ever since.
Okay.
So the idea is to try to, you try to be, well, you all know business-wise, you try to be proactive and put stuff aside so that you can handle something happening like that. So however it has to happen would be good.
Important to our operations, yeah.
And then the last, the 801 software purchase, kind of the same thing, just for, that category has dropped quite a bit. We did take some of that last year and move that into the LAPCF, and that's pretty much all used up at this point. If something isn't covered by the cybersecurity grant, and it's not part of the licensing or whatever like that, some other type of additional software that's needed, that would come out of that category. That's more of a placeholder than anything else. Because pretty much there are things that I use like for deploying software and things like that. If that can be covered by the software maintenance, it usually is, but that's kind of one of those just in case.
So the 4,800 is enough for that line?
Yeah,
Okay.
The 4,800 you said?
it's 4,800, and it's basically, so, if you're looking at the numbers, you're going, okay, we've got to cut this or cut that. I would say that the 2 categories really that could be cut or decreased would be 800 and 801, because what's in the 498 is all those things that definitely have to continue to be maintained every year. Those are, a lot of that software maintenance that I use for managing stuff, or that the county has for like the office and things like that, comes out of that 498 category. The 801 has typically been one-time purchases. One of the things that came out of 801 that used to come out was you've all seen that Know Before software, the one that sends you fake phishing messages, and I try to catch you guys. That used to be coming out of the county until ICRIMP finally decided to pick it up for all the counties in Idaho. So, for example, we don't have that expense because that's picked up by ICRIMP now.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay to still leave those on there for protection.
Yeah, the main thing is the 498. That's the main thing, is because that's where all the licensing for the servers and where the OS starts to be a problem. And yes, Jeff, to answer your question, it does mean that the operating system becomes a subscription, but everything is that way.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You know, if the county could not be a Microsoft shop, as they say, which is what I would love it, but it's impossible because there's so many things you have to interoperate with departments and other agencies that it requires Microsoft. I mean, there are lots of options out there where you don't have to be Microsoft, but I mean, Computer Arts is going to require, it has to be a Microsoft server running that. So it's kind of like you're stuck. Well, we all are. We're all stuck.
I think BJ.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explaining.
Usually I do have some other questions for you,
Thank you
just
so
to
much.
answer questions. Thank you. Whoops.
All right, any other comments on that one? Okay. Before we close up, what's next? What are the next steps?
Okay, I will, with your changes, I'll go up and make all the changes. I'll be redoing my sheets with where we are in cash. So I kind of know, and then we come down and we sit and say, okay, this is where we are at this time. And then you can look and see if you're gonna start setting levies. You know, these are the next step, is where, once the changes are all made, you pretty much approved all the changes. Line by line is from what. So I'll go up and make changes. I'll know where the cash is hopefully by probably, hopefully by Thursday. So I'll kind of know where I'm at with all my cash. So then next week on Monday, we should meet together and get it advertised. The thing is, you can always remember, you can go high in the paper, because there's some things that need to get settled still, from what I understand. So we go high in the paper, and then you guys can,
Gives us room to work.
it has you room to work till September. To get final where you want to be. It's where you guys want to be in your levying portion to the county. Does that help?
As far as, and you may not be able to tell me this, right now, this is just the opposite of the way I do my home budget. I always know what I have to start with and do it. Right now, if we had just approved everything as you had, which for the most part we have, there's not a lot of major changes. Can we tell where we're sitting with regards to a levy?
Well, I gave you a preliminary off that L2, and I could fund everything except the justice fund. I need decisions there.
Right. And that's what we need to do.
That's the only one. The rest of them are in great shape. I had to carry over and didn't raise the taxes too much.
Are we eating into our cash?
Well, that you're not gonna know, Dave, until, because you've got, I'm going in as assuming everything is being spent. And you know everything isn't gonna, you don't know where your cash position is at this point. Because you've got, do you see where I'm coming from? This, I know it's not exact what you guys, but I go in with everything, because it's already been approved. So I do not know where my cash position is gonna be. I know if I've got my estimates with my projections, I kinda know where my cash is gonna be. But they're not firm numbers until year end, because you don't know who's gonna be spending what. We know that we have a lot of reserves out there that is gonna be added to the cash. We know autopsy was one of them when Rick was in. You know, you have county general reserve, you have district courts. There's a lot of reserve out there that gets rolled back into the cash position, but at this point, it has been committed to being spent. Does that help?
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's still just foreign for me,
It
so,
is, this is different because you wait for value doing when you're doing all this stuff, work, and you don't even have any values.
Right.
But that's the way Idaho Code reads, so I get it. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
It's backwards.
okay. Any other questions or comments?
No.
Thank you for your work. Thank you, Lori, for helping.
I'm just learning.
And,
I'll get those items to you.
Okay, great.
I think we're adjourned for the day.
Okay.
And we're back at 9 o'clock tomorrow.